All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here with the Embraer Phenom 100, also known as the Cockspur PH100. Cockspur is the developer of this aircraft. It is a very good aircraft, just in case. In 2020, this is 2024, but this aircraft came in 2020. It does come with a bunch of different liveries. There's only one variant. That other one here that says another variant, this is actually just a downloadable one that I did for the exterior of the aircraft. However, this is a standard one that comes with it as well as the other ones. I'll also give you the stats of this aircraft, so we'll go ahead and jump inside. It's cold and dark. And I'll start it up, do a quick flight with it. Now, I don't know if everything works in 2020 as 2024 right now with this aircraft, because it is for 2020. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll do a quick startup and takeoff for you just to show you. So the Phenom, it does have a service ceiling of 41,000 feet. The specs I found on this bad boy are pretty nice. I mean, I do love the Embraer jets and the E-jets, and they're very good made, well designed aircrafts inside and out. And this little 100 is pretty impressive that it can cruise at about 406 knots at 41,000 feet. So we're going to jump inside of it, and I'll give you some specs. So the range on average, so it says here, the range is 1,178 nautical miles to 1,356, depending on fuel, also how many passengers. Cabin seats 4 to 7, up to 7 passengers, single crew, so you can fly with a single engine pilot. It varies on cruising speed depending on what engines. It says here that the let's see what other information I found about this thing. I found some other specs on here. It's kind of broken up everywhere here. So there's not a lot of information for every single thing. I mean, there is a lot of information. It's just scattered. So you basically have to just kind of look for it. So it does come with like a toilet and everything else. We could jump inside and just see how it flies and handles. But I'm looking for engines. I put specs, but it doesn't say. Let me see what kind of engines this bad boy has. Engine specs. All right, so it says that this is a Rolls-Royce 914 ULS. Okay, you can get that one put into the Phenom. If anybody knows what engines they usually come with, here's one. So this says the cabin height is 4 feet and 9 inches. Cabin width is 5 feet and 1 inches. Cabin length is 11 feet. The cabin volume in cubic feet is 212. And the exterior height of this aircraft is 14 feet 3 inches. Wingspan of 40 feet and 4 inches. Length is 41 feet and 1 inch. And it does have a baggage compartment of 60 cubic feet in it as well. One crew for the flight, and 5 passengers can come along at a normal operational cruise. Max takeoff weight is 10,472. Max landing weight 9,766 pounds. Operational weight is 7,132. Empty weight is 3,255. Fuel capacity is 2,804 pounds. Payload useful 3,384. Payload W full fuel is 580 pounds of fuel. Max payload 1,312. Normal operational normal range is 915 miles. Max range is 1,178 miles. Service ceiling 41,000 feet. We already talked about that. Takeoff distance 3,109 feet, and the balance fuel is, well, balance field. I don't know exactly what that means. 3,040 feet. Landing distance of 4,068 feet. Powered, here we go, 2 engines. Engines are MFG, I guess that's the mod, Pratt & Whitney, Canada. Model is a W617F-E. There you go. That's pretty nice there. It says the climb rate of this aircraft can be 3,061 feet per minute. Climb rate, one engine, 702. So it could still climb on one engine, which is pretty nice to know. Max speed is 390 knots. Normal cruising speed 371. Economy cruise is 333, which is still not bad. In 2019, listing price of this aircraft was going for $4,400,000. So pretty much $500,000, or I mean $5 million, which is pretty impressive. Let's jump inside the aircraft. Enough talking the nonsense about it, but it's a beautiful specimen. Let's take a look at this bad boy here as we walk around. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator here, just to take a look. I have another aircraft to this family in X-Plane that we're going to take a look at soon. I'm still just learning a little bit about it. It's pretty easy to start up. Most of these aircrafts in the Embraer are relatively easy to kind of navigate and go into as the sun sets here in San Antonio. I don't think they have any click-through spots because this is from 2020. I'm going to go ahead and give us a little bit more daylight just to check this bad boy out. It's a beautiful model. All right, let's jump inside and check out the inside, get this bad boy started. And if you're new to the channel, thank you guys so much for watching, and consider subscribing, as it does help the channel. Smash the thumbs up. Leave a comment of your favorite private jet. I love doing private jets. I've been really looking forward to kind of getting, so you can remove the yoke by just clicking on it, into private jets. Like, if anybody else is into that too, let me know in the comments. Like, this right here is a checklist, so it does come with this. And you can go item by item with this. And you can also click. It does have all these little features if you want to put them on. You know, if you want to, and I'll show you on the outside here what that looks like. Sorry. So that's what the covers, the wheel chocks, the little generator. Where is it? Right there. Powering the aircraft. Cold and dark status. And I think you can open this too as well. So that's what that looks like open. So really cool, interesting little aircraft here. And the cabin is beautifully done as well, which we can take a look at. It does have these tables. I don't know if they're clickable here, but they were in 2024. I'm not sure if everything works in 2020. Door's still open. We have a nice toilet here, and it should still flush, hopefully. Let me see. Yeah, it still does flush. That's good. And, of course, you got a beautiful window to look out if you need to use the potty. Alright, let's go ahead and close that up. I always love a plane with a toilet. I don't know about you guys, but I'm into it. Alright, let's go back to the seat here. And we'll go ahead and click all these back off. And we'll get started with this. Put that back. Click that away. And we'll do batteries on. Battery 1. Battery 2. And I got to put the oxygen on too. Click this. We don't need the generator yet. We got to start this bad boy up. So fuel pumps can go to auto. We'll put the seatbelt sign on in the back. Let the passenger know we're about to start up. We'll arm the emergency lights here. And we'll put that hydraulic pump to auto. This can go on. We also have to make sure that we put the bleed air on, I think, to start up the aircraft too. It has to be in the center position there like that. And these are your engine starts down here. Hopefully I don't screw this up. This is your anti-ice. This is your windshield heat ice. Yeah, pretty relatively straightforward. If you want to use your GPS for a navigational flight plan, you can just click on this little button here and it will change to either localizer or GPS. You can see we're here on the ground in San Antonio. This does scroll in and out. I don't know if this is all working or not. I didn't test any of it. But, I mean, it does work in 2020, and it was relatively good. All these buttons are pressable as well. It's a very good aircraft. It's suited my needs, and it does have navigation integration with the charts and everything, which is really nice. That helps. Of course, you can put your flight plan in here and all that information, whatever you want to do. With that being said, before we kill the battery, let's go ahead and get a startup. So this doesn't have a, it doesn't have a, what do you call that? A GPU. So, I mean, we have a GPU on the list for outside, but there's no, I forget the name of that thing. There's no little engine to start it up. I think you might have to use the GPU. I'm not sure if well, you could probably just start it right away if you wanted to. But here we go. And so the sounds are not really the best, but and we just put that to idle. Just make sure they're both connected properly. And we'll go to the outside just to hear it. Now, the Cockspur is super loud on the outside and super, not very impressive on the inside. The lights, too, are in here as well. So let me show you those. Let me put that away. Where are our lights? Oh, up top here. Here's your panel lighting. You got your strobe light, your navigational light, your landing light, and your other lights. I don't know what that is. GPU. I don't know if the GPU is kicking on. I hear the engine wanting to start, but it's not starting. Or is it already started? I don't know. Let me take off the GPU. Maybe I'm having an issue with that thing. Let's see. Make sure everything's on here. There it goes. Alright, that engine's on. Let's go ahead to the next one. There it comes. Alright. So the engine number 2 is starting here. Waiting for that to come up. It takes a couple minutes to run up here. And everything works with the Bravo throttle quadrant too, which is nice. Now, in X-Plane, I think you have to set that up for your turn knob. I don't know what this is called here, though. I guess it's called DECR. I don't know if there is a DECR in X-Plane or not, but I have to check. Let's make sure everything is on here. Bus tie generator 1 is off. I don't know why bus tie is off here. I always have a problem with the left engine with all my private jets lately. Oh, that's why. I didn't put this on. Whoopsie. Alright, user error. Okay, well, we got it started up. Let's go ahead and take it for a flight, you know? Here's your parking brake is set, so in order to turn that, you just press Control, brake. Okay, there we go. It looks like it's relatively working. Pretty nice. You know what sucks? It doesn't have the X-plane. I wish they would do the thing with the toggle where you could do this, you know, with the controller. Let's go ahead and put the flap down here. You can put that on. Of course, they have the infamous yokes here. A couple different settings if you want to take a look. It's funny how you switch back and forth from simulators and you got to remember what buttons you can use, you know? Alright. We're going to turn onto the runway. We'll take off. I'll show you a little bit of climb and how it is. It's nice. It feels really good with the brakes. Handling on the ground's amazing. Handling in general is a pleasure to fly this thing. It has the big screens here so you can kind of see what you're doing, you know, as you take off. So, and of course you got your good vision, your authentic or synthetic vision to see where you're at on the runway and take off and all that stuff. So let's go ahead to the captain's seat here and we'll go ahead and put the power in. And we'll go take off. Alright. Beautiful sunset. And what better way to celebrate a nice sunset than to take a nice little Embraer out for a spin on a beautiful day like this, right? I fell out of my truck earlier. So, you know, might as well enjoy a little flight simming. Alright, and we're up. Looks pretty good to me. Let's check out the gear up. Nice. Gear coming up. Flaps up. Beautiful. Nice sounds. So, there you go. Beautiful day to take off in this Embraer. You got a nice, very nice views. And also, if you want to, you can actually close these little levers here, which is nice. Little sun covers. Make it more private in there. And I think I thought there was another cover up here. Maybe there's not. I think it's just these, but they're on both sides of the aircraft. A little bit of touches, you know, that make the Embraer beautiful playing the fly here. All right, let's go back here. So this one definitely handles really good. It's really smooth. You know, you can see how I move the yoke. It's very, very nice. It's not very jerky. It's very smooth. It's a fun and relatively easy plane to learn too, because it's very simple to start, very easy to fly, very easy flight plan. It has the G1000 for the avionics, so you get a lot of cool features with it too. You know, I really love this plane. I think it's one of, like, sometimes when I'm, like, just chilling out, I'll do a flight plan. I'll put it inside of this, and I'll just go and cruise around. You know, in 2020, you can do a flight plan from the actual simulator itself, and it will add it into this, and you can fly. Now, with this, you could also do it manually, or you can do it through the tablet that comes standard here. And you can go ahead and go to SimBrief, make your flight plan, and put it in, and it should, you know, populate. Now, you might have to watch some videos on that. I'm not 100% sure how to do that. I have done it before, but I forgot, so I wouldn't be the best person to tell you how to do that. However, it can be done, and it's relatively easy once you figure out what to do. It's not easy learning it, but once you learn it, I think it's relatively simple. It's pretty straightforward, like any other flight plan, you know. And it's very nice because you have all the options of looking at your charts with Navigraph in here, and also your departures, your arrivals, your procedures. You got your radios that work. Like, so this is a pretty cool one. if you're into private jets, you know, I personally love private jets. I want to learn more how to fly private jets, and I'm quite interested in learning how to do more flight planning and everything. I've been using X-Plane just to kind of really challenge myself, because they have a lot of shortcuts in Microsoft that you can use, which helps to make a lot easier of a flight for yourself, and look like you know what you're doing more than so that you actually know. But I feel like X-Plane 12, you kind of have to actually know what you're doing, which would be good to start, like, to do that now that I have a pretty good experience in this, to learn the actual, like, real world procedure. You could still do that in this too, don't get me wrong. However, I feel like I will use the shortcuts because they're available here, you know, which I guess that makes me a lazy pilot, but, or flight enthusiast, I should say. But I really love this plane, though. This is actually really impressive. I have not tried this in 2024, but it's actually working really nicely here. And you can see, like, let me just show you the climb rate real quick here, just so you can get an idea. I mean, that's San Antonio. We're at like 6,000 feet above. I'm just gonna stall this plane, so I'm gonna put full throttle and pull up and see what happens. I'm pulling back more and more on the throttle here, and it's just dropping the nose. So it's not allowing me to stall, it's just dropping the nose. So that's pretty crazy, right? We climbed up to 7,000 feet. Let's go ahead and descend now. The graphics are so good in 2024, right? And the cool thing is the light doesn't switch. So it's constant, consistent, it switches with the plane, it's very smooth. That's the one good thing about 2020, is that it's beautiful to fly at night, in the day like this. You really get a feel like you're actually flying because the weather does not change. In X-Plane, it kind of breaks the immersion a little bit, because when you're flying, the light all of a sudden just changes. But the modeling of the aircrafts are beautiful. Alright. Let's try to get the plane to land here. That other airport there is a military base that we do not want to land at. But it's right over here. We're going to see it in that turn here. You should be able to see it momentarily. There it is. That right there is a military base. San Antonio Airport is right behind us. Alright, and we could use the, you know, the vision as well, so I'm just going to keep taking out power here, slow us down. You do have speed brakes on this thing, so... Or I thought you did. Do we have speed brakes? No, maybe you don't have speed brakes in this. I thought this had speed brakes. I guess I was wrong. And I guess it doesn't have speed brakes. This thing, I had it up to 41,000. You actually do get better fuel economy higher you go, and you're going a relatively good speed. I mean, this thing really cruises like an airliner, you know? I mean, it's awesome, this little private jet. It's a good one to learn if you're into these type of planes and you want to learn how to fly a private jet. This is probably a more simple, basic one to start with, you know? Alright, let me find the runway real quick here. There we are. Randolph. We'll get down here in a second. Coming back around to San Antonio, we'll level out, start getting our flaps in here momentarily. But this is definitely a beautiful plane, man. The Cockspur developer there is really good at what they're doing, you know. I don't know where the runway went. Stop. Also, I'll also show you guys a another aircraft that is made by this developer. It is a Mustang, Cessna Mustang, which is a really nice aircraft as well. There it is. I found it. Okay. Sorry, guys. I got a little bit lost there. Let me put a notch of flaps in. I'm not 100% sure this is the right airport, but we're going to land. Let's get the gear down. Alright. That is the gear down, and the noise inside the aircraft, about the same. Flaps coming down. You want to land this about 110 knots or so. It doesn't have to be crazy. And this one you can really grease because it's such an easy plane to fly, man. It really is. I mean, you have a pretty good distance to cover here. And I don't think we have a speed brake. I don't even know why I'm doing that. But flaps are down fully. And go ahead and land this bad boy. A little bit off. Way off center line here. And you put a little bit of trim in there. I mean, very easy to self-correct too, right? Stuttered a little bit there. Do you see that? That was kind of weird. Did not like that. Putting rudder in there. It's unusual that I had to do that. I guess we had a little bit of a crosswind. You could check your winds too. Right here. You could just put winds and option 1 and it will show you. So we had a 17 knot crosswind. That's why I had to put right rudder in. So in Microsoft 2024, the winds are important on landing. You definitely get to feel the wind, so you really have to control the aircraft, which is a nice feeling. But that's the Phenom. Let's go ahead and set the brake there, and we'll go stop it and just take a final look at this bad boy. Let's get a shutdown. Man, it went quite quick, right? Alright, well there it is anyway. This thing's a beautiful aircraft indeed. That is the Phenom 100, or Phoenix. No, I mean Phenom, sorry. I finally said it right, and then I said it wrong. Love this aircraft. Definitely a beautiful aircraft if you're into this type of plane. This is the one, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if you're new, consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.